Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 4 of the 5 new Scott Barnes palettes. I do not have the Sculpting and Contouring #1 palette. It sold out before I made the decision to purchase these. I did purchase these with my own money. Nothing's ever sent to me. Ever. I've never gotten PR, I've never gotten any of that. Everything I talk about, I have purchased myself. I'm just throwing that out there. I did get the Chick Cheek #1 palette, the Glowy and Showy #1 highlighter palette, the Natural eyeshadow palette, and the Color Bomb eyeshadow palette. Okay, so let's get into these palettes. This is the Chick Cheek #1 blush palette. 6 refined and sophisticated color choices next to 2 gorgeous amplifiers. Blush has never looked so vibrant. This is kind of, these just slide out, so there's Chick and then they say Scott Barnes on them in some color combination that is complementary to the outside packaging. This is what this particular palette has, a little magnet ledge on it. This is what the shades look like. You have, these are the 2 amplifiers right here. They just say Glowy and Showy. I don't know that they actually, I guess one's Glowy and one's Showy. I'm going to assume Glowy and Showy. And if you'll notice, they have a gold rim around the pan on those. And then you have the shade Minimalist, Mango Fizz, Striker Rose, Sweet Cheeks, Rosé, and Crush and Blush. The pan is 20.8 grams and it retails for $58. And on the mirror here it says, my colors are blush and bashful. Comment down below if you know what movie that's from. That's cute. The highlighter palette, Glowy and Showy. This is what it looks like. It's got a nice, beautiful iridescent packaging. It says the Glowy and Showy highlighter palette is the ultimate highlighter palette. I'm gonna pick my phone up and read from it. How about that? Carefully crafted pigments designed by Scott, mixed together so you can create your perfect highlighter tone without overdoing any one color. So it also slides out and says Scott Barnes in a silver holographic that matches the sleeve of the highlighter palette. This also opens with a little magnetic ledge. And then the colors in this are Pink Crush, Peekaboo, Pinkaboo, Candlelight, Bronzarella, Sugar Rush, Easy Glowing, Twilight Sand, and Golden Glow. This palette is 28 grams. This one retails for $68. Next palette is an eyeshadow palette. This one is the Natural #1. The Natural eyeshadow palette is a combination of natural colors with snatched elevated colors. The term natural, popularized by Scott on social media, embodies an elevated take on natural tones with a glamorous, luxurious effect. This palette is Scott's gift to the makeup community with a highly developed color range, carefully designed for the best user experience for all skin types, light or dark. Alright, so it slides out also. And this one, I really like this one with the pink lips, the XOXO Scott, and then white palette with Scott Barnes in gold on the inside. Oops. Yes, knocking things over once more. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. There are 20 shades in here. They are Angelic, Spicy, Muted, Brazen, Laced, Retro, Woody, Vintage, Starlet, Risque, Brick House, Siren, Foxy, Hollywood, Boudoir, Temptation, Silver Screen, Femme, Nightcap, and Sin. This palette is 25 grams and retails for $84. Okay, so the last palette that I purchased is the Color Bomb eyeshadow palette. It is described as an explosion of color. It's Scott's personal take on a bright color palette with tones properly crafted together in pairs and in fours. Color Bomb was directly inspired from Scott's previous editorials on famous celebrities and is Scott's way of giving back to the makeup community with some of the iconic colors of his past. It also slides open like so. Scott Barnes on the inside. It is a 20 pan palette. At this point, it looks well loved. We have Vibes, First Class, New Fling, Promiscuous, Glam Rock, Paparazzi, Mediterranean, Shameless, Sassy, Old Money, Secret Service, Riviera, Royalty, Tease, Feisty, Coy, Peacock, Arm Candy, Pin Up, and Silk Sheets. This is a 25 gram palette and retails for $84. It's also the palette that I used to get this look today. But yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on these palettes, please keep watching. If you want to see how I got this eye look using the Color Bomb palette, definitely stay tuned. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. You could even ring the bell to be notified when I post a future video. And let's get into this. Okay, so I have my foundation and concealer on. I have it all set. I have a little bronzer on. I'm going to go in with my Sonia G Classic Cheek from her Skyline Face Brush collection and the shade Crush and Blush right here from this palette. Pick a little bit of that up. Just gonna, oh, there's a lot more pigment than I thought. Do you see that? Just gonna tap that. Okay, Scott. Okay, so this has a lot of pigment. We're gonna pat this on. Try to blend this out. Wow, that was a lot more pigment than I thought it was going to be. Just barely touching the palette. It's blending out very nicely. That is not as natural as I thought it was going to be. Same thing on the other side. I said in a previous video I was going to stop saying that, and I just said it. So this is a very pigmented blush palette. All right. I'm going to go in, same brush with this lighter shade, Strike a Pose. Just kind of buff around this, see if I can't tone it down a little bit. Stand a little more forward on my cheek with this color, but then going kind of all over, trying to tone that down. Wow, that's getting out of hand. I do have a tendency to go a little ham with my blush. Now I'm going to go in with the highlight Wayne Goss number 2 brush. Looks like this. And pick up the shade Candlelight right here. just gonna, after that blush experience, just barely touch this brush to this highlighter. Let's see what happens. Just put it on a very not so subtle highlight. That is some highlight. I just barely touched that highlight. That is, wow. So I will say these palettes are incredibly pigmented and they do blend very easily. I'm gonna switch colors. I'm gonna go in with the shade Twilight Sand here. It's a slightly more golden shade. Pick up just a little bit and I'm gonna get my forehead with that. Okay, as far as this blush palette and this highlighter palette, pigment is amazing. Realize I only tried 2 of the colors, but I suspect they're all equally as good. And this highlighter is, wow, for having just barely touched the brush, it is really blingy. So yes, loving this blush palette, loving this highlighter palette. Now, onto the eyeshadows. Okay, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows, put on some Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer and put a little bit of bake under my eyes to catch any fallout that these shadows might create. Now, I'm gonna go in with my Wayne Goss number 18 brush and the shade Shameless, which is this very bright pink shade. I'm going to try to go in very light with that though here at first. I'm just gonna barely, I've done it one time, so I guess twice, just touch my brush to that shade. That's how much shadow it picked up. And I'm going to pat this on the outer corner. I got a new vanity mirror. I had a Ricky Loves Ricky Skinny. Oh, there's a lot of pigment coming from this. Okay, I had a Ricky Loves Ricky Skinny mirror sitting on top of a box. It would be high enough for me to see in. But while things were on sale this holiday season, I got a Ricky Loves Ricky tall. And I love it. I'm still getting used to how much I can see. It makes me feel like I'm farther away from the mirror, and I probably am a little bit, just because I probably had the skinny pulled up closer to the edge of my desk here. The shade is blending out very nicely. And it is staying, I was able to keep it lighter and blend it all the way out. I'm gonna go in and just keep intensifying it. I'd say there's good color payoff with this shade and that it's blending very nicely. I went ahead, went a little heavier right in the beginning on this eye, since I knew about where I wanted to build it up to. Alright, so I'm going to pick up my Scott Barnes 63 brush. It's this brush here. Pick up that same pink shade. Start really darkening up this corner and this crease. that's going down very nicely with this brush. Almost like this brush was designed to work with these shadows. So these colors so far, I realize I've used one. This pink is very pigmented if you want it to be. It also, I was able to use the little lighter and blend it out to a much less intense pink. It's always nice with a shadow if you can basically have multiple shades with one pan just by brush choice or the amount of shadow you apply. Okay, Arm Candy. Right here it's a shimmery purple shade. I'm going to start building up some purple in the outer corner and crease of this eye. Still just working with that same shade. Just trying to build up this crease in this outer corner. I think I will go in with a Scott Barnes crease brush. I'm not sure what the number, I'll look in a second, and really make sure I've got this color down in this crease fairly well. I am trying to also wing this shadow out. I'm going to pick up the Scott Barnes, the 62 brush. It's just his crease brush. And that same shade Arm Candy, and just work it right into the crease. This is a great little crease brush. Okay. All right. Going back to that 63 brush, I am going to pick up this darker shade of purple right here, Royalty. Once again, intensifying this outer corner. Staying a little more right into the outer corner than with the other shades. And winging this out also with this brush. This brush is so nice for that action of just winging, creating a little winged out eyeshadow. Probably end up putting down the darkest blue and this outer V to darken it up, and then going back over the top with this shade to make sure it appears more purple than blue. These colors build very nicely. And I'd say they're very true to paint. Alright, before I go in with that darkest blue, I'm going to try to go in with the shade New Fling, the very top here, and once again, just darken that corner. Really not quite darkening like I want it to. So I think I'm going to have to go in with that blue shade and then come back and put the purple over the top. So I am going to pick up the shade Mediterranean right here. It's a very dark blue matte shade, just on the corner of that brush. I'm going to just hit this outside corner. It's darkening. That's coming across as a dark purpley shade, so that's exactly what I was looking for. So that's interesting. There's a lot of fallout on my face. That's interesting how adding this blue created a nice dark purple, which goes to, I guess, show how well the shadows blend. If you think about, you know, your basic, you know, elementary school art class and how you made colors, how you mixed colors to create different colors. The blue should mix in with the pink and purples to make, you know, blue and red make purple, right? So it should have done exactly like it did do if you're considering the mixing of colors, like with paint, for example. So I think that speaks a little bit to the blendability of these shadows, that they're blending together in such a way that they're creating a different color, just like paint would if you blended two shades of paint together. I think that's pretty neat, and I don't know that I've ever had eyeshadows kind of do that. Maybe they do it all the time, but I just hadn't noticed. You would think I would notice, though. Alright, that is coming together more like I wanted it to. Okay. I'm going to go in with that 62 brush, that crease brush. Back in with that shade Royalty. Just right here along this edge. And back in with the shade Shameless, that hot pink shade, just to make sure I don't lose that. Alright, so looking at this, I do know I want to go in with the 62 brush again. Go in with the shade Royalty. I just want a little bit more of a defined purpleness in this crease. Just want to make sure the purple goes all the way over to my nose. I'm going to go back with the 63 brush, pick up that Mediterranean just on that edge of the brush, and just run it right through that crease. Alright, so I want to start working on the lid shade. I think I want to put some more of that shade Mediterranean right here on the outer corner, but not, well, I guess not quite on the outer corner, more over on the outside of the lid. But I want it to show up as a blue shade this time. I don't want it blended in and becoming purple. So I'm going to pick it up with my Rephr 02 brush, and I'm just going to pat it right here at the edge of the purple. I want it to stay more of a dark blue. Patting it, not really blending or buffing at all, I'm just patting that down. Wingoss 07 brush and this metallic shade here, First Class. I'm going to pick it up and put it right up against that Mediterranean and blend it over a little past midway on the lid. I would like that shade to be a little more vibrant than it's coming across. Let me try switching over to my Surratt Medium Classic brush. It's just a small flat brush. These Surratt brushes though, the bristles are just, they're soft and amazing, and they do such a good job. If you don't have any Surratt brushes, just pick one, pick a shape that and a size that you think you would get the most use out of, and just try it. But I do want it to be a little more vibrant than it is. It looks kind of muddled. I'm going to try just going in and patting it on with my finger. Okay, it's definitely a little more vibrant of a blue. The color is really packing on there well. You know, when in doubt, always go for the finger. getting quite a bit of fallout with this shade. I don't know if you can tell. I am going to take that same Surratt brush that I had earlier. I am going to pick up this shade Riviera right here. It's this beautiful turquoise blue. Hoping it's going to be just pow, vibrant in this inside corner. Oh, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. This color is giving me the exact color payoff I wanted from the other shades. It is just stunning. Just pull that electric blue. Can you see that, just how much more vibrant that is? That color is stunning. Okay. So now I want you to take the Morphe M124 brush. It's a small, stiff bristled brush. And I'm going to pick up this shade Glam Rock. Lighten up. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. This very inside corner. Can you see that? That is just beautiful. Just kind of dragging that color right at the side of my nasal fold a little bit. I'm going to take that same Glam Rock shade on the tips of these bristles and go right underneath my brow bone, or my brow, I'm sorry. Okay, I think we're gonna sweep the bake out from underneath these eyes and start working on the lower lash line. All right, I have my Sigma Power Sweep brush. It just looks like a small broom. I'm just gonna use it to just kind of flick away this bake that's right at my lash line. Still gonna leave some of it here on my cheeks for fallout. I'm going to go in with my Refer Prototype 07C brush and pick up that shade Shameless. Try to brush it right along this lower lash line and blend up the edge of the winged out shadow there. I think I'm going to get one slightly different brush, go in with this shade again. It'll take it closer to the lash line. I'm just kind of using this brush to buff the shade under the eye. I'm going to go in with my Esom S31 brush, same shade, Shameless. Pick it up and this time go a little closer to the lash line and really get that shade pretty intense and blend it up. Okay, now I want to go in with my Sonia G Pencil 1 and pick up that shade Royalty and just hit this outside edge. Probably going about a third of the way across my lower lash line, but I'll keep it closer to my lashes. Being sure to blend that up. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my XOXO 05 brush and hit that shade Mediterranean and really just stay right on this outside corner and blend it up onto the upper lid. Okay, I'm going to pick up that Refer Prototype 07C again, that color Shameless. And just one more time, lightly blend these shadows out. Okay, I do want to pick up that that Morphe M124 brush, that color Glam Rock, and drag it right down into this inside corner. The brush still has a little bit of the Riviera on it, so it's kind of dragging a very light blue down into this. I'm going to clean it off and then pick up just Glam Rock and try to touch right here, just on the inside corner. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this eye, I think. I'm going to go off camera and add some liner and some lashes. Go ahead and put on a lip, and I'll be back to give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is the final look. I guess you could say this is my take on a color bomb. It is definitely bright and colorful. I did finish off my face by buffing it out with Chanel loose powder. I added some Glossier Boy Brow to my brows, Milk gel eyeliner and Boss in my upper waterline. These are House of Lashes Ethereal Light lashes. Natasha Denona, I Need a Nude, and Yana Marc Jacobs Dazzle Gloss and Pickup on my lips. My thoughts on the palette. I think the colors blended beautifully. They're mostly true to pan. There was some small to moderate fallout depending on the shade, but hopefully you can tell just how vibrant these colors are and how colorful. It's definitely a color bomb on my face. Yeah, so all in all, I think this is a great palette. I can't wait to try the Natural palette next. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. Maybe you'll ring the bell, and I'll see y'all next time.